Hello everybody, this is Josh here, and welcome back to Buried. In the last episode, we found out that one of my friends, I can't remember his name, he died, and we found our friend Dennis, and we're in this strange facility, so now we're gonna begin Chapter 2 to figure out what happened to the crew and where we are, so yeah. And I adjusted my webcam because there's not really any spot in the game that I can put it without it blocking the text, so I made it just a little bit smaller so it's a little bit easier to read. But yeah, let's get started. Oh my. Looks like a train track. We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they're running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying, but there's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Dennis, what do you think this is? Looks like we're waiting for the D train, says with a deadly sounding cackle. Whatever that means. Is that supposed to be like a sexual innuendo? I don't know. Comment. Tell me what that means, guys. I don't know. Also, the ringing noise is louder than here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound, something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Dennis asks. Not at all. This is what I think to myself. But I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. Well, he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place. He's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. Why do I get the feeling that there's something wrong, like Dennis isn't who we think it is? I'm not sure. This is creepy. You told Dennis you were scared. I think we can officially say that we have no business being here. If you want the truth, I'm a little frightened. A place like this, buried under the woods. Well, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like we've walked into a trap or something. My lack of confidence is mirrored in Dennis's face. If he wasn't uneasy before, he is now. Well, shit. From the looks of it, we can go either left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly, I droop my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe. It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights, indicating that we'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness. But we also heard footsteps in that direction. I'm gonna go left. Thank you. You decided to go into the lights. Seems smart to stay in the light. Left it is. Yeah, it definitely is, because you can protect yourself. Or if you can't protect yourself, you'll at least be able to see what happens to Dennis or yourself. You'll be able to see death coming. As we head left, the lights ahead are like a beacon in the dark, luring us forward. Someone left the lights on for us, Dennis says, trying to be funny but creeping me out instead. You're not funny, man. I wonder if that's a good or a bad thing, I say. As we near the lights, I hear the hum of machinery grow louder, but it doesn't sound like any machine I've heard before. As the light increases, I use it to take an inventory of Dennis and his condition. While the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that is soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. Well, it's good that he'd stopped bleeding. How much further can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yeah. Let's walk into the deep tunnel that has no business being here. Now fully stepping into the light, I notice that the sound of machinery is coming from an area on the left side that is protected by a guardrail. Wisps of bright blue light dance on the walls as they leak out from whatever is below. I also notice a posted sign that says danger, severe radiation poisoning threat. Well, there's radiation. I'm definitely gonna step back and move on. Fuck. Dennis, I don't think we should go near whatever's down there. Dennis studies the blue light a bit longer, and then nods. He's hurting enough as it is. I don't think we need to add radiation poisoning to his list of ailments. Or mine, for that matter. Step away and take off down the tunnel again. As I start walking, I notice another structure coming into view up ahead. Alright. Sweet. Looks like an elevator over there, but I'm not sure. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they're dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. What is that ringing noise? God. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forest of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis can't seem to stop himself from shaking. His fear is mirroring my own. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up! Fucking get up. I'm ashamed I'm getting irritated with him. Oh, you think I'm just relaxing here? Sorry if I'm slowing your progress. Great plan you got here, by the way. His response makes my blood boil. I don't need this shit from him right now, that's for sure. Help him up slowly. I can't stand the guilt anymore. A sappy apology comes out of my mouth before I can clamp my lips down against it. I'm sorry I lost my temper, I say. It was uncalled for, but I'm under some stress here, as I'm sure you can understand. He hesitates for a moment, and I'm sure that he'll ignore me, but he surprises me. I get it. Apology accepted. As for me, sorry I was being a jerk. Apparently bleeding out makes me kinda high-strung. Yeah, Dennis is always high-strung and about 2 harsh words away from trading punches with someone, but I keep that to myself. We exchange an awkward look and put it behind us. It is no different than some argument we might have had on the job site, or over a few beers. One thing is for sure, I'd much rather be arguing with him over a few beers than here, in this nightmare. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize those red emergency lights might be on for someone else, who was actually supposed to be here. Stay quiet. Don't freaking yell out, there's somebody freaking down here. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream, in this empty place is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting some sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret. And if it is supposed to be secret, and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside, and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. Maybe we should have went the other way. Maybe the footsteps was actually Joe or Frank. I think Joe and Frank are the ones who are missing. I'm not sure though. Because we have Dennis, and then that one dude died. I can't remember who that was who died. God. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks, and then he asks the question that has been on my mind since I found the little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise and the unmistakable noise of a generator clicking on. And that's when they walk into the room and they find out it's a strip club. Never mind. Alright. Sorry, guys. I do not like this music. Oh my word. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. That mechanical hum is oddly comforting. So the lights are motion sensors, I think. Somehow the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm. But for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long, with two main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary-sounding chuckle. Something funny? I ask as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. This is... no! I brought you with me so you could come look at things with me. Enter the conference room, I guess. Avoid the lab, God. This is like... this reminds me of, the Alone game. I think it's called Alone. I don't want to spoil anything about it, though. A ledge table sits in the middle of the room. A large table, not a ledge table. Lined with a series of chairs. It looks like something straight out of a showroom. A well-used whiteboard hangs on the wall, and there's scattered papers on the desks. Look at papers. Most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations that all go way over my head. But there are also handwritten notes that don't make me feel any better about our situation. I read through them and see scrawled notes that say things like, last experiment failed, overdose before transport. Levels indicate cellular catabolism. More lead shielding in the export suits. Measurements make no sense. Let Barksdale know about possible Higgs field fix. Like a whiteboard, duh, I'm not gonna just not look at it and leave. Okay, that door in the back of the room is making me uncomfortable. A few things were scribbled on the whiteboard, mostly formulas and names, but there's some things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject 6, cause of death. Emolism. Emolism. Or anumerism. Or both. Ideas for new delivery modes. Spherical liquid. Comatose state. TerraCore company. Equals possible plutonium supplier. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor. But I don't get very far, because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Well, shit. I guess I gotta go. I don't like this music. It's hard to look behind his rifle. If only there was like a guy actually in the hallway. But the man carrying it is young, with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. I feel like this guy is me, guys. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I'd trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Try to attack? Fuck no, I'm gonna put my hands up in the air. I just put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrendered state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. I recognize you. You stomped around and set off the security mics in the entrance. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He is scared, but there's something else. We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says, bullshit. But for some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asked, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did we get in this situation? I think to myself. If only I had left that damned ringing noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to give this guy information yet. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. We're looking for our crew. We have other crew members that we can't find, I say. Your crew? He asks, seeming confused. If this man thinks we're nuts, there's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. That word, though. But how did you get in here? The man asked. I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. The expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Please put the gun down. Oh, fuck. Yes, the man called me to put his gun down. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out. Without that, he uses the muzzle of the gun to flip my heart out onto the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume that it's because his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. Fuck. I'm gonna protect Dennis, guys. I feel this. You step between the gun and Dennis. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action. I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say, but we are here by mistake. We have no business here. But now that the power is on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense, and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? Yeah, I'm the president. No. That's fucking funny, but no. What the hell are you talking about? No, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, but I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes you think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then in a moment so fast that I just about miss it, Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just 3 seconds ago, I was worried of how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there's the moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise out of the round, tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look to the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed, in a shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fired in possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall I could use as the bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis was overpowered. Fucking punch him, dude. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face, a reminder of how close I had come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never really. I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he's basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him. A desire that builds with each second I look at him. Don't keep punching him, leave him alone. Stand up and step back. You took it easy on the man. He's definitely out now, no threat, or at least that's what I think. But he surprised me by busting up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. Fuck! My eyelid swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. It seems like this last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back and brace myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches into the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me, and I take it with shaking hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun, Dennis says. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had no such thing. I had known no such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You're welcome, Dennis. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing, his eyes look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? We've come to this floor, and we've come this far, and I want answers. I sense that Dennis does too. I walk over and pick up my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, I say, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my sight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. Its steel sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. Damn it, I wanted to look in the laboratory. Fuck. Oh well, I guess. This game offers a lot of replayability, apparently. Before I get into the elevator of this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, but we can't go down there. What's on level 2? He looks at me like I'm some kind of idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure a government would want you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. And not even a thank you, just a bunch of restricted access rooms I'm only allowed to go into for freaking chaperone. I interpret his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get in for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. True. Then again, he had come at us with a rifle. It makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. And the explosion in the woods, or whatever the hell had happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. Ask for sympathy, because you don't want to piss him off. He might try something. Look, it hasn't been the best day. We're trying to find out what's going on to find our crew to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay. Thank you. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can't hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. That's disturbing. I guess we're going to the second floor. It's exceptionally well lit and looks to be made of stainless steel. Also, if we would have left Dennis in the forest, he would have bled out, like he needs help. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door, with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. After we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here? We can't leave, Marcus says. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? You can't override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. Anything from getting out? Fuck. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls on the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly, we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. So we're stuck here forever? No, what can we do? What can you do? Marcus bristles at the situation, or the question, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not allowed to unlock the doors or even get medical supplies. Why keep a guy around who can't even grab a band-aid without permission? That's fucking hilarious. Without me, nothing would get done here, Marcus answers me. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn their computers on without help. The top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground, helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. What goes on here? I'd like to know. Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me. I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified, and the things I know don't even cover the start of it. What does that mean? I asked, starting to get irritated. It means that even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is down here, I don't know enough about it. Alright. I already know that he's a technician, or an engineer or something, so I don't really need to ask what's your job. How big is this place? It's a government facility of the highest secrecy, Marcus says, a research facility. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly, it scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that? This is a Black Ops graveyard, he replies. Even the CIA doesn't know this place exists. Even the CIA doesn't know this place exists. Fuck, that's crazy. What knocked the lights out? I don't need to know what his job is. He's a technician, obviously. Seemed like some sort of power outage, Marcus says. That's all I know. There was an outage and then... Then what? Dennis asks weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? I ask. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by... something. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems. But what I saw... What? I asked, feeling a sharp fear warm its way into my guts. Well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's still down here. Hold on. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place? Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know? Just in case of what? As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glass room that is filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns and emergency vaults in every single room? Well, fuck. This is getting good, guys. God, this is great. End of chapter 2, okay. I think there's 3 more chapters. Let's see. Curiosity. You and 39% of players obeyed the warning sign and stayed away from the glow. Well, duh. You and 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him. Well, dang. You and 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. That's not very many choices, but anyways, that's Buried. I'll be back with chapter 3 in the next video, so thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day.